But coming up with the idea is easy. Actually implementing it is a whole nother story, no pun intended. We are now 4 months into development of Heartstrings, and I feel like I've learned a lot about myself and this project. There are some things during this whole process that I wish I would have done differently. However, I would like to say that I don't particularly regret anything that I've done. I feel like regret is a very strong word. One thing that I really wish I would have done differently during this process is planned things out better. I feel like it's super important to mention here that Heartstrings is my very first project. It is my very first child. It is my baby. Much like any parent with their first kid, you don't really know what you're doing. You've heard stories, you've been told what to expect, but when you actually experience it, let's talk about scope creep. I think this is one of the most important things to talk about during this video. Scope creep is essentially when your project gets out of hand. You start planning this super small story that is manageable at the time, and then all of a sudden it just becomes too much. But coming up with the idea is easy. Actually implementing it is a whole nother story, no pun intended. Now, I went into starting Heartstrings with scope creep in mind, and I said to myself, I'm never gonna do this. Joke's on you, past uni, because you did end up falling for scope creep. One of the ways that I could have easily avoided this is fleshing out my project more in full than I did. I went into Heartstrings with a couple of storyboards, a hope and a dream. But alongside that though, it would have really helped me to understand the engine that I'm using. Heartstrings is made in RPG Maker MV, and I have not touched that program since a year after its release in 2016 when I graduated high school. If I would have taken the time to relearn the program and understand the base mechanics, I wouldn't have struggled so much during this process. With that in mind, I wish I would have stuck to my guns when it came to not using plugins for this project. I wish I would have just settled on using base RPG Maker with no plugins whatsoever. Heartstrings uses Mog Hunter plugins, which takes your game from a turn-based battle system, which is natively in RPG Maker, and instead uses an ABS battle system. It is used primarily in games like Zelda. This right here specifically is where scope creep started. I based my game around this specific plugin, and I'm at a point now where there is no going back. I really need to just push through and figure it out piece by piece. One thing that I did do right, however, I feel, is promote early. However, the last part of that I'm still struggling with is promote often. I tend to operate under common themes. And what that means is I Google things and I see what exactly is common in everything that I'm reading. And one of those common themes is you end up being a jack of all trades when it comes to being an indie game developer. In most cases, you don't have money going into this, especially like me. I am getting assistance paying for a lot of these things. I'm a full-time college student, and I'm very lucky to have a partner that has the expendable income to help me pay for certain things if I need it. Most people don't have that. They have no money whatsoever to put towards these projects other than buying the initial programs, which can often be pretty expensive. Things like money for advertisements, promotions, things like that, artwork. That is one of the most challenging things, and something that I've really noticed in new developers and why projects tend to fizzle out. It is really hard to juggle being the writer, being the developer, being the promoter. And I went into this promoting early. I started promoting when I started doing my storyboards, but I've struggled promoting often. I will admit, I lack confidence when it comes to promotion because I am very worried about being spammy and overdoing it. One way that I have tried to improve on this is including my itch link in every video that I post on TikTok. Whether I'm talking about my game specifically or something in the game sphere, I always have my itch link on all of my videos. I have genuinely felt that this has changed the way that I look at advertising because I don't feel like I'm forcing people to go to my link. The last thing that I want to share with you is just a general rule of thumb, and that is you need to understand that you are not going to get a lot of traction right out of the gate. It is going to take a while for people to see your work, to follow you, to play your game. At the time of recording this video, Heartstrings has only been out for about a month, and as you can see, I've only gotten 18 views and 1 download. So if it feels like your game is going nowhere, the reality is it's not. Yet. These last 4 months really have been an eye-opener for me, and I'm confident that things are going to go my way. The more I work on this, the more I improve, the more that I look at tutorials and other things that I can add to my game to make it more unique. I have no doubt that my game is going to be loved by many. As you improve on yourself and up your skills, you also improve your community and your reach. Get early access to videos like this one, behind the scenes content, and updates early over at ko-fi.com/IG Spotlight.